Hi guys, it's Katrina here. I decided to make a new video going over how I use the MACD momentum indicator to help me spot reversals or when price is going to flush or rally. So yeah, I got a lot of new followers and asking a lot of new questions, so I thought I'd make a new video. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, the MACD is actually called the Moving Average Convergence Divergence. And again, I use it to find reversals. Now, the big thing about the MACD is it is a lagging momentum indicator, so I do use it in conjunction with stochastics. But I do see a lot of people don't use it in conjunction with stochastics. Which can really, screw things up since it's a lagging momentum indicator. It does lag the stochastics by 1 to 3 days. Also, like price can peak before the MACD peaks. So that also shows you how it lags. It is one of the, probably for me, one of the harder indicators that I use. It's probably the hardest indicator I use. And the reason I use it in conjunction with my stochastics and Bollinger Bands. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I use the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim charting platform, which I have pulled up right now. And I already have my MACD on my chart, but if you want to input the MACD momentum indicator, you just go up here to your studies, this little beaker, and then you just scroll down to MACD. MACD, which I already have right here. But I do not use the one they give you, the default MACD. I did tweak mine a little bit to help with like the false positives and stuff, since MACD is a lagging, indicator. But I will go ahead and input their default MACD just so I can show you. It's not too far off, but you are supposed to tweak your MACD to help with the lagging problem it causes. So add selected. So my MACD is parameters are 1628.8. And the default is 1226.9. And so let me do the different color. I'm going to change this one to a different color. I'll do yellow. And then I'll do orange. I don't think. Okay. All right. So here is, right now I'm currently looking at Shopify, the daily, and here, let's see if I can get this to look a little better. All right, here's my MACD, and here is the default MACD. So if you come over here, let's see, it's not too far off. Like mine is right here, dips or pulls back up further above the center line. This one pulls back at the center line. Down here it looks like mine kind of goes a little further down, but it's not too far off. But you are supposed to tweak it to help with the lagging. So yeah, I just want to show you that. I'm going to take this off now. Okay, so let's get back to MACD. All right, so the MACD has this horizontal center line right here. Mine's purple. So above that center line, momentum's more bullish. Price is more bullish. Below it, price and momentum are more bearish. So if you are a bull or you're going long, you want the MACD to stay above the center line. If you are a bear or going short, you want the MACD to be below the center line. Also, I've noticed, when when you're above the center line, you're normally, you know, above the 200 EMA, which mine is green. And once you're starting to test it or to break it, you know, that's when usually the MACD, you know, breaks the center line. And if you don't know, the 200 EMA, that is the last stance for the bulls. Once it goes below that 200, like that's bearish for a really good stock like Shopify. I used to always say Facebook, but Facebook is like right around its 200 EMA right now. Microsoft, Apple, you know, the good names. A lot of people can't buy a stock under its 200 EMA. They won't even touch it. So sometimes, a lot of times, that's a good buy at the 200 EMA. But, you know, that's when also you'll notice the MACD, like when it's getting close to 200 or testing it or breaking it, like that's when the MACD usually crosses the center line or is below the center line. So if the stock's, you know, well below its 200, the MACD most likely is below the center line. Okay, so anyways, let's, I also have, first, so let's go back to the studies. So the first two numbers, it says determines the smoothness of the line, I guess how smooth they run together, and then the third number determines the gap between the two lines. You know, once the gap starts closing, that's when, you know, a cross usually happens, and that's usually when your reversals start. And then so I forgot to tell you that, so I just want to let you know that. Cancel. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started from the very beginning. I'm on the 1 year daily chart for Spotify. And it looks like it started off right away crossing. See how, I mean, the MACD is above the center line, but right here's where it crossed. You always want to pay attention where it starts crossing, because that's when your, you know, reversals start. And it crossed, this is a cross bearish, but it is above the center line, so it's not bad, it's not below. And so it's, you know, it crosses, it starts to go down, and right here, this is the hard part about MACD. This is where I get tricked, you know, it starts to trick you. Like right here, when the gap starts closing, you think it's gonna cross right here, which would make it bullish. It doesn't cross here, it keeps going down. Like that's the hard part about MACD, and why I also use it in conjunction with stochastics, kind of see where the stochastics are at. And as you can see, the stochastics like didn't even make it to its invisible 50 line that I always talk about and talked about in my stochastics video. So yeah, let's see. So it, you know, it did not cross here bullish, continued down, and it, you know, it raced down, broke the center line. Like that's bearish. It's bearish momentum. And look at price. It looks like, you know, it broke this mid Bollinger Band, tested the 50, tried to break out above the mid Bollinger Band, and it didn't. His upper Bollinger Band is in the way right here, but and then it lost it, and you know, price started, you know, the lower Bollinger Band opened the trap door, price went down, your MACD goes down, cross the center line. Like that's bearish. If you're a bear, you want the MACD to cross the center line. One thing I wanted to show example of, or how you can use MACD to your advantage, is right here where it, you know, it started to turn, and like right here the gap started closing. You'd think it was going to cross here, and it did not cross. That would have been bullish if it would have crossed, you know, right below the center line, but it didn't. Notice it puts in a low here on the MACD, and it didn't cross, so it puts in a lower low. So you kind of know price is going to go lower here. Like here's a low and here's a lower low. Let me do my little shaded oval. Look, here's a low. Here's a lower low. I mean, it's not much, but I'm sure if I spread this out better, it would look more if I spread out my chart. But anyways, like here's a low, here's a lower low. Like you can use that on MACD, like you know, and then it, you know, it crossed right here and raced up over, you know, crossed the center line. Like this is a bullish MACD right here. Like this is what bulls want right here. They want to race up. And then it looked like right here it was gonna, like, you know, started to lose momentum here. Like right here, you know, this is where it'll screw you up. You think it's gonna cross here, and guess what? It doesn't. It races back up. So I mean, that's a bullish MACD here. And notice how it raced up like the MACD, pulled back to, it looks like it's 13 EMA, mid-Bollinger Band, tested it, went right back up. Also, I wanted to note that in your MACD, you know, you cannot draw trend lines like you can in your charts or stochastics. You can't draw these trend lines, you know, or ascending triangles or descending triangles. You can't draw falling wedges or any of that stuff in MACD. Like, that doesn't work in MACD. The only thing you can draw in MACD is these exhaustion lines. Where has the MACD, you know, is starting to get exhausted? To the high, or look, to the low. Those are the only lines, you know, you can draw in the MACD that matter. So like right here, you know, like you would, you know, like you could have drew a line here, like, you know, so say you're looking at the MACD right here and you see it racing up, and you're like, I wonder how high, you know, the MACD, how much more space does it have? So you would look at the last high, you know, the previous high, you know, and that's when I would draw a line for the previous high. I always make mine dashed. I'm weird. So I'm watching it right here. I'm like, I mean, how much more room does the MACD have? So I draw the, you know, the previous peak here, and look, it breaks it. So I know this is bullish momentum here. And then, you know, over here, you're like, I wonder how high it can get. It already broke this one here, and look, you know, if you draw the previous high, it touched right there at the previous high. So you know you're getting pretty exhausted here on the MACD. You know, I mean, and notice this. Remember how I told you MACD is like a lagger? Look how, you know, like price peaked here, started pulling back, and the MACD didn't peak till here, but it had already like pulled back to the 13 EMA. But that's, you know, that's the only like trend lines you can draw in MACD that matter, are these exhaustion lines. I can't even say that word. You can also do them from the you know, below the center line, like how, like, when price starts to break, like, I wonder how low it could go. You know, you draw your previous low. And look, it didn't touch it here. So, wanted to show you that. But let's go ahead and go back over here. So anyways, notice how, like, right here is where it crossed. So, you know, like, you know, the reversal starting to show. But, like, right here. But look how reversal already started showing a couple days before. That's where it's a lagger. Anyways, it crossed. And notice it, you know, it goes down, but it, you know, it's well above the center line. Like, that's still bullish momentum there. Like, that means price ain't gonna, like, go major down. You know, it's not going to 200 because it's still above its center line. So it looks like it starts to turn here. Like, this isn't really showing me much momentum here. Nothing good or bad. It's gonna, you know, it's either gonna go up or down in there. It went down, but look how it turned before the center line. Like, that's bullish momentum. If it turns before this, like right before the center line, that's bullish momentum. And look at price, raced up, and look at the, you know, MACD, raced up. So pay attention to, does it turn before the center line? Does it turn at the center line, or does it like race, you know, below the center line? Like, that's what you're looking for. Anyways, it raced up, you know, got exhausted, crossed right here, and look, it raced down. Like, this is a race. This isn't like a little stall and, you know, what are we doing here? It's a race. Oh, darn it. Clipped it. It's a race. So if you are a bear, like, that's what you want. You want a race down. And look at price. You know, price, you know, looks like it tested this 13 EMA, lost it. Lost the mid-Bollinger Band, was, you know, it was testing, you know, the 50, lost it. Went all the way down to the 200. And remember what I said, if it goes below the center line, it's either testing the 200 or below the 200. Anyways, raced downward. Look, here's here's where, like, looks like it was starting to, you know, the gap starting to tighten here. like it's going to cross and it doesn't, and then it goes right back down. So there's a lower low, so price, you know, lower low on the price. Let me see. Here's a low. Here's a lower low. I mean, those aren't like huge differences, but sometimes you can find some huge differences on certain stocks, you know, with that lower low on the MACD, if you can, you know, if you spot it. Anyways, so, you know, it crosses right here and starts to race back up. So that's, you know, it's racing back up, trying to get to that center line. And guess what? It hits the center line and crosses right at it. Like, that's bearish. Like, you wanted to race and cross above it, and it didn't. It turned right at the center line. So that's bearish, and look what happened in price. Price went right back down. And then guess what? It crosses right here, like right, you know, right below the center line. So you're thinking, oh, it's already reversing. It looks like it kind of struggled here. It went right back up, right back down. You know, so that's not like the most bullish or bearish momentum. And look at price, just, you know, didn't do much up or much down. But anyways, it crosses right back down, goes down more, and then it finally crosses here and look, races up. Like, that's what you want. Like, look at price, raced up. So, and then, you know, right here's where, you know, the gap's starting to close. You're thinking it could cross here, losing momentum. Nope. You know, it never crossed, and that's bullish. Like, if it doesn't cross bearish and it, you know, it regains this, look at that bullishness. Like, it raced up more. Like, look at price. It looks like it just tested this 13 EMA and mid Bollinger Band, never lost it. And as long as it's above that mid Bollinger Band, it's still bullish. Still, you know, price is still allowed to go up. And look, it went up, 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 up. And look at the MACD, up, 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 up. Like, that's what bulls want right here. So yeah, then it finally crossed, came back down, but still well above the center line. So price is still bullish. It's nowhere near its 200. Not even, you know, it's starting to, it barely tests 50 there. If that, it doesn't even. Anyways, then it finally crosses and races down to the center line, but doesn't cross it. It doesn't cross it. So like, that's, you know, that shows me that's bullish. But here's the tricky part about MACD. Like, look at it. Like, it doesn't cross the center line, but, you know, look, it doesn't really do much here. And I highlighted this because this is not showing me any good or, you know, good momentum. You know, and then like that's when I would kind of like go to my stochastics kind of help me out here. And look, the stochastics didn't even break the 80 line. Like, that's bearish. That's bearish right there. If it doesn't cross the 80 line, it turned before it, like, that's bearish momentum. So I already know that this is, dang it. Don't tell me I screwed this up. So, I mean, that's already telling me, the stochastics is already, you know, telling me that this is not like bullish momentum either. And it's not. Look what happened. It loses it. It breaks the center line. So yeah, so that's Shopify. I wanted to show you Facebook, because Facebook's been pretty darn bullish. So look at, you know, for the most part, since I guess March, you know, the MACD has been well above the center line, and Facebook's been well above the 200 EMA. You know, it holds its 50 this whole time. And then look, right now it's finally been, finally been getting bearish over here, right? It's past month or two, month and a half. And look how it raced and broke. I've been watching this. That's why I hadn't even traded Facebook. It's just been so bearish. And I know other people are like buying these dips and buying these dips, but I have not bought any dips yet because I'm not seeing a bottom yet. Look at this MACD. You know, this MACD kept racing. I was watching this the whole time. Racing. My stochastics, you know, I talk about, look, triple dip, like lower. Like, look, if this does another low, like that's a quadruple dip, there's a lower low coming. And I thought maybe that would be it here, but today's action is showing me differently. But I have not been buying, because look at this MACD. This is not bullish, guys. And you're just catching a falling knife. you know, until it is. Look, like right here, maybe it would have crossed today. Look, it started to look like it was going to cross. I almost bought yesterday, I'll admit it, but I didn't, just because I need more confirmation. And look, the gap widened, so I wanted to show you that on Facebook. And look at price. Price is down. It looks like it's right at 200 again. I thought like the lower Bollinger Band was curling in, but look, it flattened out. Like that could roll over. And look at the 13 EMA. It's still racing down. I mean, I at least try to pay the 13 EMA back test, but it's just not even showing me anything good for even that. But once it finally does break that 13 EMA, you know, like that's bullish. Or once it finally breaks that mid Bollinger Band, like that's really bullish, and that'll be a good buy. But yeah, I want to show you like the stochastics on Facebook, like how well above the center line the whole time, even on any pullback. And then it's been so bearish, like look how it finally like raced and broke down. And that's how this has been showing me like don't buy yet, Katrina. So I want to show you that. I think I have Boeing. I'm going to show you Boeing. Because Boeing, let me see if I can get this a little more stretched out. You know, Boeing, like, man, Boeing has, I just don't play it anymore. I don't know. I just don't play it anymore. Every time I think it's going to go, you know, good, it doesn't. And I'm just tired of it. Lockheed Martin, right? Is that how you say that? Is the chart's way more bullish, and I've been playing that one. But anyways, you could short Boeing, and I know a lot of people have. And anyways, the MACD, you know, I just want to show you, like, you know, the MACD, like, races below, races up. This is, you know, like, races below, like, raced up, but didn't cross the center line. Like, that's bearish. You know, it's well below the center line. Like, look at, like, right here, like, I mean, this isn't really a race. Like, this is a race to me. Like, this isn't a race. Like, this is like it's better momentum. It's not ridiculously bullish. And look at price is not ridiculously bullish. If you can't even really tell what's going on. And look, it already crossed. Now, will it go below the center line, or will it turn at the center line? Like, that's how you want to watch that, you know. And like right now, you know, I saw it yesterday. It broke the mid Bollinger Band, so I knew it was going down more. But I can't short, so. And it's like almost showing the bearish cross. If this 13 EMA crosses the center line, like that's bearish. The only thing that's gonna save it right now is the lower Bollinger Band ain't rolled over. A lot of times, you know, Boeing touches its lower Bollinger Band and pops back up. But anyway, I just want to show you how the MACD did cross. It's not far above the center line, so that's not good momentum. Now, does it break the center line, or does it turn right to the center line? And then if you look at the stochastics racing down. Like, that's bearish. That's not showing me any kind of bottoms in yet. Like, look at that. That's racing down, breaking the 20 line. So, yeah, that's Boeing MACD. I mean, I could go through a bunch of them. I think I said overstock. Because overstock, like, I'm kind of interested in overstock right now. You know, going into the holiday season. But man, like, I haven't been able to tell with my momentum indicators, you know, what's going on. Like, look at this, you know, MACD on overstock. Like, it is above center line, but it's like, it's not, you know, it's not showing me much. I mean, I can stretch it out as much as I can, but even the stochastics isn't showing me a lot. Like, it's above the 20 line. It didn't break it, so that's bullish. I mean, this is a hard one. So if it's hard for me, I just don't take the trade, guys. But, oh, darn it, I screwed that up. Let's go ahead and go to the 6 month. But, where's the MACD? There it is. You know, it's this, like, it broke out. Oh, look at that. Since it's got a, what is that, a shooting star or whatever that's called. Yeah, that's not the best. I'm sure some things have pulled back from, some things have had some good, yesterday and today, so It's pulled back since I looked at it earlier. This upper Bollinger Band, that's my only problem. I'm not liking that. Like, it looks like it wanted to turn, but it hasn't. Anyways, with the MACD and stochastics, like, I just can't tell. So that's how you use your if you can't tell, guys, don't take the trade. You know, I showed you where you can clearly tell if it's bullish or bearish. And I just can't tell it. Sometimes you just can't tell, guys. So I don't take the trade. And I won't be taking this one, definitely with that candle now. I mean, I could be wrong, I don't know. So yeah, so that's MACD. I hope this helps you guys out. I guess I'll go back to shop when I first started at. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys out. You know, above the MACD is bullish, below it is bearish momentum. You know, you can draw I can't even say that word. Exhaustion lines. You know, just see where MACD peaks. You know, or where it peaks above or peaks below. Sometimes you don't get a good, you know, like this shows me no good momentum up or down. Like sometimes you get that on MACD, and that I would not trade off of that MACD. You know, bulls, they want nice, you know, racing across center line and up. Bears want nice race down, or, you know, race down across the center line here. You know, also, like, I'm not sure about other charting platforms, but TD Ameritrade shows like these colors. And from what I've learned is, like, you know, the light bright green is more bullish momentum. You know, the darker green is, you know, more bearish momentum. Also, like, how high this goes kind of shows you, like, the gaps in between here, or, you know, how high the MACD's getting exhausted. But look how, like, this is not very, you know, huge, and this gap's not very huge here. But, you know, the bright red's the most bearish. That's when it starts to really, like, you know, race down or go down, and the dark red on, you know, is when it's starting to, you know, the gap's starting to close, maybe, you know, cross. But I don't know if that shows on every platform. But that's how I kind of look at it, or, you know, judge it. But so yeah, this is MACD, and I hope this helps you guys out. I will pin this to or add it to my pinned tweet on Twitter. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on my tweets, and I hope this helps you guys out. Thank you. Bye.